Hi, my name is Lisa Parziel, and in Module 6 of the Reputation Management course, we're going to talk about systemizing for ROI, essentially automation and reporting. So let's first talk about the few things we're going to talk about in this particular module. It is important to understand that to scale your business is to really set it up to have exponential growth. So what do I mean by that? Well, we're going to go into the detail on why you need to really implement some processes and procedures and follow some really good systems to make sure that your company can grow. And as you gain more and more clients, the work can get done. So we're going to talk a lot about that. We're also going to talk about reporting and why you need it and how you need to touch and feel the customer on a regular basis. Why are we talking about these things? You want to keep your customers, you want to keep them coming back month after month. You also want to be able to grow your business. Let's start with the first item. So scaling your reputation marketing. You need to plan to get big. Essentially what I'm talking about is you get your first customer and you're very excited. And then you get your second customer and you're even more excited. As you get your 10th and 11th and 12th customer, you realize you don't have enough hours in the day to do the work. And now you can't go out and get more customers because now you're too busy working. If you plan for this in the beginning and grow your business slower, put in processes, maybe that's outsourcing, maybe that's having a partner that will, work with you, whatever it is, if you plan for that in the beginning, you will actually skip a stage that most businesses go through. We went through it to where we got so busy, we were swimming, we were drowning, and we started losing customers. It happens to the best of us. If that happens, that's okay. It just means that you probably need to tighten up those processes and look to see how you can get your business to run without you. And what I mean by that is you're always going to work in your business, but you need to put processes in place that things are working automatically, whether it be software, systems, or people. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit in this particular module. So how to implement those systems, whether it be for your SEO or for your reporting. And when I talk SEO, I am talking about the tools you need for your reputation management. You need to decide first and foremost, what are you going to specialize in? So when you first start out, it's very tempting to try to do all things. Even if you are going to be just in reputation management, reputation marketing, there's several directions you can go. If you try to go in all those directions, so for instance, do you want to become an expert that fixes bad reputations and charges the premium dollars? Do you want to be the company that does marketing for non-existent or tries to get those neutral customers we've talked about? Or are you looking for customers who have a great reputation and you want to implement and put in place just some types of things that will maintain that for them? Each one of those things has its pros and cons. Each one is a different type of business and can command a different amount of money. It's really best to decide what you want to do. Why? Because you're going to put all of your efforts into coming up with processes so everything's happening systematically and automatically as much as possible. What that does is allows you to create a niche for yourself, create a way of doing things that's efficient, and you can take on a whole lot of extra work. If you want to, after that, expand to the next service or the next service. The most successful people I have met, and one of the keys to my success as well, has been sticking with what you know and what you want to do. We have 3 basic services we offer to our clients. And in that we do some other things and we've branched out, but we started with 3 or less and then we built from there. Why? Because we can focus, get the processes right, do things the way we need to do it, and then it allows us to grow our business bigger and faster. So deciding kind of what you want to do or what you want to specialize in is pretty important. Then once you've done that, you want to create a sales strategy that's physically aligned to your specialty, your process, and your reporting. Or more importantly, you want to make sure all of it's set up to work together. So you don't want to go out and sell stuff that you're not set up to do or you don't have really great processes. Now, if you're just starting out, you don't have processes yet. You're learning, you're doing, you'll kind of get to them. So you go out in the beginning and sell one thing and one thing only. And if someone says, no, I really don't need that, do you do this? Even if you're considering doing that, once you start going one off and doing this and doing that, you're not focusing on that one thing that you want to systemize and prepare for exponential growth. So it is very important that your sales strategy is aligned with what your plans are, and then your processes and reporting are aligned to kind of follow up with those things. And processes really are going to be the work involved, right? So how we get it done, what we do for each client, when we do it, how we do it, a very systematic approach to doing things. Typically, the more software you can implement that does it automatically, the better off you are. When it comes to that, and you know what, let me go back. Scaling, for your reputation, I do want to say this when it comes to software. There's many things out on the market. Simple is always better. I use Basecamp, for example, for my project management. It's simple. It has the features I need. I tested a bunch of other stuff. It was so complicated. It was taking me, 2 days just to figure out how to use it so I can evaluate it. Whereas Basecamp, for example, and I don't get paid to say it, but I figured it out in about 10 minutes, and that's what we use, and it's fantastic. Now let's talk about reporting. It is really important that you put reports in place because your customer, as we said, and we continue to say, they need to have you touching them and feeling them. And realistically, you need to go to them and tell them, this is what we're doing for you. This is how it's going. Here's your, rank when we started. Or here's where your reputation was when we started. Here's, whatever your starting point was. Here's where we are today. We see an upward trend. Everything's working. Even if it's going slow and it's taking forever, as long as you're showing them and walking them through, here's what we're doing. This month we saw this, do this. You're touching them, you're feeling them. So it is very, important to contact your customer, to be in contact with them, because that is what's going to keep an account. And it's easier to keep an account than it is to go get a new customer. So you do, once you get a customer, want to take care of them. And reporting is, really a great way to do it. However, I like reporting that happens automagically. I don't like to have any time involved in reporting. So I do go out and I find tools and use tools that do things for me. If I can't find a tool, I'll build a tool. Now I do have access to programmers, and I used to be a programmer. So therefore, I have that option. Other people might not have the option to build tools, but you can certainly go out, research, find some that will help you do your job quicker. Remember, monthly or quarterly contact is recommended, depending on how long they've been a client, what you're doing for them, how happy they are, etc. You might be able to, go quarterly. When you first start an account, typically you want to go monthly. And I typically tell the customer exactly what's going to happen. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. We're going to do monthly meetings with you for the first 4 months. Once things get, going a little bit more smoothly and you feel more comfortable, we can change that to, every 2 months or every 3 months. So that way, we're saving your time and, we're not wasting your time. You want to try to get the customer eventually to a quarterly, because you don't want to spend a lot of your time sitting down with that customer. What you'll find is happy customers just want the contact, and typically they don't even want to meet with you. They might say, oh, no, I'm good this month. Just send me the report. The idea is you're offering time and time again. I have many clients who never want to meet with me, but I continue to offer. Automate your reporting as much as possible, and I'm going to demonstrate some of this here in a sec. Touch the client regularly. Very, very, very important. So I'm going to just talk briefly about a tool I use. You can find your own tool. This is a tool that, full disclosure, full disclaimer, we own this. This is our tool. So therefore, I don't want you to think I'm pulling the wool over your eyes or anything like that. I also don't want you to think I'm trying to sell you software. This is not my intention. I'm just showing you the type of software you should be interested in, something that automates and help you understand that not only am I going to automate my process with the software, I'm also going to automate my reporting. So it's the only way I could show you how we go about doing it. This is not the only game in town. There are a lot of softwares out there that do similar things, same things, that type of thing. So we're going to take a look at it. When you're selecting software, the most important thing is to have easy setup and deployment, meaning you understand it, you can get in it real quick, you understand what you're supposed to do, and you can deploy it real quick and get customers in there and on board right away. That's important. You don't want to spend tons of time going through tutorials and training, and I've got to go 3 hours here and 2 hours there. And you want to be able to get in there and get going. You also want to monitor the reputation. You want to know. There's nothing better than when you get something that says, you just got a great review from blah, 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 blah for a customer. And lo and behold, you go out there and you send that to your customer and say, hey, this just hit Yelp today, or this just hit Google today. Again, you're making that customer contact. They are happy. They wouldn't have probably seen that for months. You're pointing out, look at our efforts are doing for you. Look what they're doing for you. So if you monitor it, you can report on it. And the same with reputation marketing. If you have a system where you can really monitor that, you can show them, how to do it. So we're going to look and see, about reporting. But remember, a software should automatically send out reports and notifications, or the customer should have the opportunity to go log in. Now, that doesn't take the place of physically touching the customer. If you do have automatic reporting, make sure you set it up to where your email sounds like it's coming from you and not a machine. Make sure that email is set up to say, hey, if you want to go over the results, give me a call. If not, I'll touch base in the next week or two. And then do that. It could be you go to call the customer and guess what? You get their voicemail. You touched base. You called them. You made contact. It doesn't matter if they don't answer. You are continuing to do those things that customers feel comfortable with. So don't let the reporting and notifications become a crutch either. Okay, and like I said, we own reportpuppy.com. So what I'm about to show you, I'm really showing you the software because I want you to see the kind of software you should get. Like I said, there's plenty of people who sell software. We're not, trying to sell you any software here. Okay, so I don't know if it still shows me as logged in. So I'm just going to click around a little bit. Yeah, so I'm still logged in. So I'm going to start with kind of just looking at a dashboard, and our clients get to see something just like this. So the reporting side of it, they get to log in. When they log in, they can see things. So, automatically they can see overall feedback rating is 4.83. However, their average online feedback is 4.92. We do go over this in a kickoff meeting with a customer, how to use it, how to read it, that kind of thing. And really, they can get on here and see their scores and things like that. Now, what's really important is, having a piece of software that can do several things. Now, this is similar to software you'll see out there for star ratings and such. Essentially, it asks the customer to review the business. If the customer reviews the business and gives them 5 stars, we go ahead and ask them to do it on Google, Yelp, etc. This is one of our strategies, and a huge strategy on how we actually do our reputation management. So when we take that neutral customer and they have no feedback, we're using a system that's going to automatically go out there and touch their customers. So they're going to give us, a Excel file with all the email addresses from their customers. Typically they have that, they can export that, they can get that. We're going to put it into the system, and over a certain period of time, it's going to drip feed or, send a few out at a time. It's going to send out emails asking for folks to review this business. If they review, it goes onto the website, and we have it, it automatically go to the website. So none of this stuff are we touching once we sign up, one of our customers. When we get a 4 or 5 star review, we go ahead and ask them, will you say something nice on Google? Will you say something nice on Yelp? Whatever we're trying to rank. So in your strategy, if you're trying to get Yelp to go up higher, you're going to want to get a lot of Yelp reviews, things like that, along with other SEO stuff that you learned. So the idea is, you have software that's doing those things. Now, this is built to read in all of the ratings that a customer has. So here you see, and this is for my company, so I'm just looking at mine. I've got a 4.9 out of 14 reviews, but when you see it online, it just says 4.9. It doesn't say 9.0. I've got a 5-star on Yelp. The cool thing is, and you want software where you can do these kind of things. So the cool thing is, if I don't want to see one of these reviews, so maybe I come down here and I say, oh, this was a bad review. It's not, but maybe I say it's a bad review. I can actually block this to where, as I feed it through their website, and I feed this through my customers' websites, I like them to show their reputation to their customers, but Here's the difference. If I go out to Google and look at all your reviews, I see all of them. If I can see your Google reviews from your website, we can manipulate and hide the bad ones we don't want them to see. Now, you're not going to be able to hide your score. They're going to be able to get that. But at least if there was a really negative review, you don't put it on your website, things like that. What's important here is the software is doing things automatically. It's like, what we talked about with SEO and, ranking the reputation or getting sites to come up higher. We want to automate processes as much as possible. So when we were doing those types of efforts, we would go out and find tools. And we talked about some tools and that kind of thing. We're going to find tools to do things. Reputation, when it comes to the star rating system, is no different. There's tools that do those things. Now, even if you're not trying to give them the star reputation and doing a lot with the reviews, and you're just trying to rank their website to take over the front page, this is still a great type of tool. If you can find a tool like this that helps report, you can always do some other things. Now, I'm not going to get really into this because it's not about this software, but you do want to go out here and have some type of reporting feature. We have it to where we can actually see these types of charts. The customer sees it. They can look and see how well things are going. They can see the reviews. They're able to look around and do things. And the way the software works is pretty simple. It allows folks to literally set up for that customer one time. So I come out here, I set up my customer one time. Then this automatically does everything for me. Now, I don't let the customer do everything. I'm going to do it all for them. But the software is automatically doing it. That's what we're talking about when we talk about Systematize. If you try to do everything by hand, it's a great idea that if I do it by hand, I know I control it. If you find good software that can do the same thing faster and while you sleep, that's systemization. And you have to have it to grow your business. Now, you can probably make a great 6-figure income on reputation management doing everything by hand and not having great processes. So you could probably make about $100K a year. You want to make $200, $300, $400, $1 million. You can't do that without systemization of processes. So that's my motivation for just showing you, some software. And like I said, I'm not here to try to sell this software to you. We do actually, sell it. But at the end of the day, it's about showing you this is about systemization. And so another tool, and I think we've talked about this before, but I do want to show it to you. So SERP Lab is a pretty inexpensive tool that's just going to show rank and things like that. And I'm just going to we'll grab my account here and get in there. And you literally can come in here and I can, look at keywords and how I'm ranking and things like that. Again, this software, I set up the keywords. I set up what I want it to check on a monthly, weekly, daily, whatever basis I want. Once I get it set up, it's going to automatically send those reports out, whether it's to me or to the client. Now, I personally like to get all reports ahead of time. I don't like things going directly to the client because what if the software messed up? I want to check things, make sure everything looks good. Or at the most, if I'm sending out and showing people where they're ranking, now that I'm trying to manage the reputation, I want to show them that we're moving more and more stuff up to the front page. If it's not happening, if it's not working, if it's taking longer than it should, I want to be prepared for that. I want to know that before the client gets the report, because sometimes you'll get a call within minutes of them getting the report and you weren't ready for it. So that's why I like the reports to go to me. And good software will have that. So I have the ability to also drill into the data, look at the reports. It's really about having software that does the work for you while you concentrate on the main thing, which is selling your services, getting the work done that you can't do with the computer or the softwares, and working on your business. That's what you should be focusing on. So, I'm not going to get into a lot of detail. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. That is what we talk about when we talk about systemization. And there are a ton of courses out there. There's a ton of information out there where you can learn how to be better organized. So that's really about it. I don't want to be long-winded. Next steps, really, you want to create simple, easy to set up processes, and then you want to execute on those processes. And a process could be as simple as when I sign up a customer, the first thing I do is I set up a kickoff meeting. And at that kickoff meeting, I tell them how it works, when we, going to call them, what they should expect, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a process. So I'm going to do that every single time I get a customer, and it takes X amount of time. Once I get the customer and I've gone through that kickoff meeting, maybe I have software that starts getting the reports together and getting and finding their reputation. Okay, great. That's my process. We go run that report. The idea is simple. You're actually creating step by step by step that in which you're going to do, and then you execute upon that. When you do that, it's very easy to put somebody into your place to do the things you used to do when you were a startup. But as you get busier and busier, you need more time. You can hire people to do what you used to do. You already have a process. It's going to be very easy to slide somebody right in there. Remember, build at a pace you can scale. We often want to go out there and get as much money as possible real quick. Then we can't deliver on what we do. And remember, we're talking about reputation here, reputation management course. If you go out and you do a bad job for people and they start ranking you poorly, it's going to be kind of ironic. So you do want to, do good work and scale at a pace that, you can make everyone happy, including yourself. If you go too fast, often we find you lose customers. That's just the norm for any business, whatever it might be. And you'd never get any sleep. You'd be tired all the time, and you literally wouldn't work. So that's it. I hope Module 6, really helped you see why you'd want to scale, process, put reporting in place, software in place, things like that. We have, really gone through a lot of material over all of the modules. If you have any questions, if, you really are struggling, don't be afraid to reach out. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Google+. I am out there. So thanks for watching, and go create some great success.